Today our topic is how to apply Stoic principles to modern life. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy, but its teachings are still very useful today. It was created by thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. These philosophers taught us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. In our modern world, life is often busy, stressful, and full of challenges. Stoicism can help us deal with these challenges in a calm and wise way. Let's talk about how we can use Stoic principles in our daily lives. First, let's talk about the idea of control. One of the most important Stoic teachings is to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. In life, many things are outside our control. For example, we cannot control the weather, other people's actions, or unexpected events like accidents or illnesses. But we can control how we respond to these things. Imagine you are stuck in traffic. You cannot control the traffic, but you can control how you react. You can choose to be angry and frustrated, or you can choose to stay calm and use the time to listen to music or think about your day. This simple shift in thinking can make a big difference in how you feel. By focusing on what you can control, you reduce stress and feel more empowered. Another Stoic principle is to practice gratitude. In modern life, we often focus on what we don't have or what we want. We compare ourselves to others and feel unhappy. But Stoicism teaches us to appreciate what we already have. Take a moment to think about the things in your life that you are grateful for. It could be your health, your family, your friends, or even small things like a good meal or a beautiful sunset. When you practice gratitude, you realize that you already have enough to be happy. This doesn't mean you should stop trying to improve your life, but it helps you find joy in the present moment. Stoicism also teaches us to prepare for difficulties. Life is unpredictable, and bad things can happen. Instead of fearing these difficulties, Stoics suggest that we prepare for them. This is called premeditatio malorum, which means thinking about the worst-case scenario. For example, imagine you lose your job. Instead of panicking, you can prepare by saving money, learning new skills, or building a network of support. By thinking about these possibilities in advance, you are less likely to be caught off guard. This doesn't mean you should always expect the worst, but being prepared helps you stay calm and focused when challenges arise. Another important Stoic principle is to focus on the present moment. In modern life, we often worry about the future or regret the past. But Stoicism teaches us to live in the present. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we truly have is now. When you focus on the present, you can fully enjoy what you are doing, whether it's working, spending time with loved ones, or simply relaxing. This doesn't mean you should ignore the future completely. It's good to plan and set goals, but don't let worries about the future take away your peace of mind. Stoicism also teaches us to accept change. Life is always changing, and nothing stays the same. Sometimes change is good, and sometimes it's hard. But resisting change only leads to suffering. Instead, Stoics encourage us to accept change as a natural part of life. For example, if you lose a job or a relationship ends, it's normal to feel sad, but try to see it as an opportunity for growth. Change often brings new possibilities and experiences. By accepting change, you can adapt more easily and find new paths forward. Another Stoic principle is to practice self-discipline. In modern life, we are often tempted by distractions like social media, junk food, or procrastination. Stoicism teaches us to resist these temptations and focus on what is truly important. Self-discipline doesn't mean you should never have fun or relax. It means making choices that align with your values and goals. For example, if you want to be healthy, you might choose to exercise instead of watching TV. If you want to succeed at work, you might choose to study or practice instead of wasting time. Self-discipline helps you stay focused and achieve your goals. Stoicism also teaches us to be virtuous. Virtue means living with qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. In modern life, it's easy to get caught up in material things like money, fame, or possessions. But Stoics believe that true happiness comes from living a virtuous life. For example, instead of chasing wealth, focus on being honest, kind, and fair. Instead of seeking fame, focus on helping others and making a positive impact. When you live with virtue, you feel a sense of purpose and inner peace. Another important Stoic principle is to remember that we are all part of a larger whole. In modern life, we often feel isolated or disconnected. But Stoicism reminds us that we are all connected to each other and to the world around us. This idea is called cosmopolitanism, which means seeing ourselves as citizens of the world. When we remember this, we feel more compassion and empathy for others. We realize that we are not alone, and we are all in this together. This can help us be kinder, more understanding, and more willing to help others. Stoicism also teaches us to face our fears. In modern life, we often avoid things that scare us, like public speaking, taking risks, or confronting problems. But Stoics believe that facing our fears makes us stronger. When you face a fear, you realize that it's often not as bad as you thought. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, the more you practice, the more confident you become. Facing your fears helps you grow and become more resilient. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our lives. In modern life, we are often so busy that we don't take time to think about how we are living. But Stoics believe that reflection is important. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to think about what you did well and what you could improve. Did you act with kindness and wisdom? Did you focus on what you can control? Reflection helps you learn from your experiences and make better choices in the future. In conclusion, Stoic principles are very useful in modern life. By focusing on what we can control, practicing gratitude, preparing for difficulties, living in the present, accepting change, practicing self-discipline, being virtuous, remembering our connection to others, facing our fears, and reflecting on our lives, we can live with more peace, purpose, and resilience. Stoicism doesn't promise a life without problems, but it gives us the tools to handle problems with wisdom and strength. In a world that is often chaotic and stressful, Stoicism offers a path to calm and clarity. By applying these principles, we can live better lives and make a positive impact on the world around us.